And now, BX Forever presents another RPG deep dive.
Welcome to another episode of BX Forever.
All right, listener, get this. King Erikel of Norwold needs our help.
Oh.
His mountain barony of Twolakes Vale has gone completely silent.
Silent.
No taxes.
Wow.
No messages.
Huh.
A scouting party vanished.
That's not good.
And to top it off, there's a deathcloud hanging over the whole area.
Deathcloud.
It's like someone dropped a classic fantasy adventure right in our laps.
I like it.
Luckily, we've got maps,
Oh, nice.
economic records,
Great.
even military rosters.
That's very helpful.
It's not just a news story. It's like we're stepping right into the game.
Awesome.
So before we get to the deathcloud,
Okay.
I need some background.
Sure.
What kind of place was this Twolakes Vale before things went dark?
Well, based on these tax records, it was surprisingly wealthy for its size.
Really?
They had bustling fishing villages on the lakes,
Okay.
plus rich lead mines in the mountains.
Interesting.
It's definitely not your typical forgotten backwater.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The source material also mentions Baron Maltus Pharaoh, the ruler. Sounds like he was quite the character.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, he recruited a lot of his officials from his old adventuring party.
Yes, and that might be a clue as to how things went so wrong.
What do you mean?
His background might have made him overconfident, underestimating the threat.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought he could handle anything,
Right.
like in the old days.
Yeah.
Speaking of handling things,
Okay.
let's talk about Skullheim Castle.
Right.
The Baron's stronghold.
Sure.
It's completely overrun with undead now.
Oh, no.
But from these DM maps,
Uh-huh.
maps 2 and 3 specifically,
Okay.
the defenses seem more focused on delaying attackers than withstanding a full-on siege.
Exactly, you're thinking.
The layout suggests a swift and brutal takeover.
I see.
It's not something a ragtag group of undead could pull off.
Right.
This was planned,
Yeah.
executed with precision, likely by someone who knew the castle's weaknesses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not just mindless zombies, then?
No, we're dealing with a strategic mind here.
Absolutely.
And to make things creepier,
Uh-oh.
there are all these little details about the inhabitants of the castle,
Okay.
both living and undead.
Interesting.
Like Mogus, the bailiff.
Bogus.
He had this weird mirror in the southeast tower,
A mirror.
apparently with some kind of magical secret.
That sounds important.
And don't forget, Roderick Ironrod,
Roderick.
the guard captain,
Oh, yeah.
he died defending the castle,
Tragic.
supposedly at the hands of the Baron himself.
What?
If the Baron was already under someone's control,
Right.
that could explain how the castle fell so easily.
Wow. Talk about a betrayal.
But there's also Amilar,
Amilar.
the steward.
Okay.
He was transformed into some kind of monstrous undead creature.
Oh, that's rough.
It's not just about killing.
No.
There's something more sinister happening here.
Like what?
Some kind of dark magic twisting and corrupting people.
Right.
Which brings us to some unsettling whispers
Oh.
from the survivors. They talk about a blue dragon
Whoa.
and a mysterious artifact called the deathstone.
A deathstone.
It seems to be the source of the deathcloud.
I see.
Right. And then there's the hammer of life,
The hammer of life.
the only thing that can supposedly destroy the deathstone.
So we need to find it.
Classic fantasy weapon.
For sure.
Right.
Yep.
Except this one's broken into pieces.
Oh, no.
It's scattered across the land.
Classic. Talk about a quest.
Speaking of quests,
Right?
the road north, Westlake Road,
Yeah.
leads right into the territory controlled by that blue dragon,
You mean,
Corbundar.
right?
He's using fear to control the villages.
Wow.
Doesn't even have to be everywhere at once.
That's terrifying.
Just the threat of him showing up is enough.
I bet
Yeah.
the source material even describes the peasants talking about him in hushed tones.
Right.
Like he's some kind of mythical boogeyman.
Wow.
Adds to the whole creepy atmosphere for sure.
It does.
But if want to understand how he fits into all of this?
We need to take a look at his lair.
All right.
DM Map 4 shows it in detail.
I'm looking at it now.
This is no ordinary dragon's den.
Definitely not.
We're talking living statues.
No way.
Hydrae disguised as trees.
Wow.
An entire chamber filled with undead.
Oh my gosh.
He's even got secret escape routes.
He's thought of everything.
This dragon is paranoid, but prepared.
This lair tells me Corbundar is not a mindless beast. Defenses against intrusion and planned escape routes.
You're right.
Someone this cautious is unlikely to be a simple pawn.
That's a great point.
Which makes me question how much control Wazer.
That mage we'll discuss later
Okay.
really has overhead.
That's a really interesting point.
Thanks.
You'd expect a dragon to be all about hoarding treasure and
Right.
terrorizing villages.
Yeah,
But this feels different.
I agree.
More calculated.
And speaking of calculated,
Yeah.
the source material mentions his chamber being decked out in decadent luxury.
Fancy. There's a fake deathstone in there.
A fake?
Clearly meant to mislead anyone who manages to get that far.
So he's messing with us.
It speaks to a level of arrogance and strategic thinking.
Yeah.
He assumes his opponents will be so focused on the obvious prize that they'll overlook the true danger.
Wow.
Or maybe it's a test.
That test.
What if he's weeding out the weak?
Interesting.
Only those clever enough to see through the deception get to face him directly.
Well, I like where you're going with this. He's not just a monster.
Nope.
He's a gatekeeper.
Right.
Guarding something.
And that something might be more than just treasure.
You're blowing my mind here. This is way more complex than just a dragon guarding his hoard.
It is.
We also know from the source material that he's been boosted with powerful magic.
Really?
Even granted immunities by someone.
Oh, wow.
This isn't your average fire-breathing lizard.
Nope.
This is a serious magical threat.
Right.
But before we get too sidetracked by dragon conspiracies, there's another location we need to discuss.
Right.
The Miasma Swamp.
Oh, yeah, the swamp.
It used to be beautiful woodlands,
Really?
but now it's all warped and corrupted by the deathcloud.
It's a grim reminder of the deathcloud's power.
It really is.
The land itself is a mirror of the decay spreading throughout the Dominion.
That's a good way to put it.
And it's not just aesthetically unpleasant.
Sure.
It's also where the pieces of the hammer of life are hidden.
Right.
Yep.
Each piece is guarded by a different challenge.
Oh, no.
We're talking man-scorpions with potions.
Man-scorpion?
A pair of gorgons.
Organ.
One with the hammer's pommel.
Oh, gosh.
And a hydrax.
A hydrax.
This icy elemental guarding the hammerhead, frozen in ice. So we have to fight all of them. Classic quest stuff.
I love it.
But it makes you wonder,
That.
if the hammer's the only way to destroy the deathstone,
Right.
why make it so hard to reassemble?
I don't know.
It's like someone wants the deathcloud to stick around.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
It could be a test, like with the dragon.
Maybe.
Or maybe it's a way to buy time.
Okay.
Whoever is behind this might be trying to achieve something
Mhm.
before the hammer can be reforged.
Okay, hold on. My brain is doing backflips trying to keep up.
Uh-huh.
This just went from 0 to 100 real quick.
I know, right?
So
Okay.
we have a powerful,
Yeah.
strategic dragon
Uh-huh.
who might not be the true villain.
That's true.
A corrupted landscape guarding the pieces of a legendary weapon.
Right.
And a death cloud slowly consuming the land.
Yeah.
What could possibly tie all this together?
Good question.
Well, according to the source material,
Mm-hmm.
the answer might lie with a mage named Wyzor,
Who
who resides in High Pass Tower.
High Pass Tower.
And things are about to get really interesting.
I can't wait. Weiser is a fascinating character.
Yeah. In what way?
He's shrouded in mystery, operating from this remote tower.
High Pass Tower
Right.
seems kind of aloof
Yeah.
from the chaos unfolding below.
But he's the mastermind behind it all, right?
At least that's what the source material suggests.
Well, that's what's so intriguing.
Okay, I'm listening.
High Pass Tower,
Yeah.
according to DM Map 5,
Right?
isn't really designed for a last stand.
Really?
It's more about delaying tactics,
Okay.
testing those who dare to intrude.
Interesting.
Each floor has a different challenge.
Like what?
Hill giants on the ground floor,
Okay.
then Wazer's apprentices disguised as statues,
Tricky.
and those fiercely loyal hellhounds guarding the upper levels.
Sounds dangerous.
And let's not forget his lead-lined laboratory,
Oh, right.
presumably full of magical goodies.
So it's like an obstacle course
Uh-huh.
designed to weed out the weak,
Right,
just like the dragon's lair.
exactly.
Are we seeing a pattern here?
It's certainly possible.
Okay.
And what's even more curious
What's that?
is Wazer's final trick.
What do you mean?
He doesn't fight to the death.
Yep.
He simply wishes the top floors of the tower right into the death cloud,
What?
effectively stranding anyone who's managed to get that far.
Okay, that's just straight up rude.
It is kind of a jerk move.
Imagine going through all that trouble,
Right.
fighting your way to the top,
Uh-huh.
only to have the floor disappear beneath you.
Yeah.
Talk about adding insult to injury.
It does raise some questions
Like what?
about his motivations.
Oh,
If he's truly the mastermind,
yeah.
why not eliminate his enemies when he has the chance?
Good point.
Unless Of course, he needs them for something.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Thanks.
Maybe he's testing them,
Possibly.
seeing who's strong enough to survive.
Could be.
But survive for what?
Right.
What's the end game here?
That's the million gold piece question, isn't it?
It is.
But before we spiral down that rabbit hole,
Okay.
there's another piece of the puzzle we need to consider.
All right.
Source material mentions that Wazir fled towards Gollum Village.
The last bastion of resistance in Twolakes Vale.
That's where things get really desperate.
Tell me about it.
The survivors have been holding out against the undead horde,
Wow.
using lead from their mines to block magical spying,
Really?
and fortifying sections of the village
Smart.
instead of relying on one stronghold.
Talk about making the best of a bad situation.
It speaks to their ingenuity and resilience.
Definitely.
They've adapted,
Yeah.
learned,
Uh-huh.
and are finding ways to survive against overwhelming odds.
That's amazing.
And they have some pretty remarkable individuals leading the charge.
Such as
Sir Guy of Brad, the
Sirgon.
Baron's closest friend,
Okay.
is a seasoned warrior.
Sounds like I'll need him.
And Jard,
Guard.
the high-level cleric,
Oh, nice.
is a beacon of hope
I bet.
for the beleaguered villagers.
It's inspiring, really.
It is.
Even in the face of this terrifying death cloud
Yeah.
and an undead army,
It's a lot to deal with.
they haven't given up hope.
But DM Map 6 paints a pretty grim picture
Okay.
of their situation. The Baronet's tower
Yeah.
has been overtaken by this particularly nasty type of undead
What is it?
called a vision,
A vision.
which feeds off fear
Oh, great.
and can even possess the living.
No wonder the villagers are struggling.
They're facing direct assaults,
Oh, wow.
raids,
Jeez.
desperate supply runs.
That's rough.
They're trapped between a dragon and a horde of undead.
Man, that's rough.
It is.
They're fighting a war on two fronts.
Basically.
And the death cloud looming overhead.
Yeah.
It's a miracle they've held out this long.
It is a testament to their strength and determination.
It really is.
But there's another layer to their situation.
Okay.
Something that might offer a glimmer of hope.
I could use some good news.
The source material mentions that they possess knowledge
Knowledge about what?
of a hidden location.
A hidden location.
The Temple of the Stars.
The Temple of the Stars.
That sounds like something straight out of a prophecy.
What is it?
Some kind of ancient shrine. A lost city. It's actually much more significant than that.
Really?
The Temple of the Stars is the gateway
The gateway to where?
to the sphere of death.
What?
The source of the death cloud's power.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So we're not just dealing with a random undead outbreak. This is connected to some other dimension,
Right.
some realm of death.
Precisely.
That's next level.
And what's fascinating is how well hidden this location is.
Really?
Even with all our maps and intel, we wouldn't know about it without the survivors in Gollum.
It makes you wonder,
What's that?
if this temple is so important,
Uh-huh.
why is it kept secret?
That's a good question.
Is it to protect the world from the sphere of death?
Maybe.
Or to keep its power contained for someone else to use?
An excellent question.
Wow.
And to add to the intrigue,
Okay.
the journey to the temple is described as incredibly perilous.
Perilous how?
A treacherous path through the mountains.
Oh, fun.
It's almost like it doesn't want to be found.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got a hidden temple, a dangerous journey,
Yep.
and a whole other dimension of death to deal with.
That's right.
This is starting to feel like the climax of an epic fantasy film.
It does.
But who's the final boss?
Good question.
Who's waiting for us at the Temple of the Stars?
That would be Ulslime,
Old Slimes.
the mastermind behind the undead horde.
The real mastermind.
He's a Chaosar,
A chaos.
a cleric of immense power dedicated to chaos.
That sounds bad.
And he's not above using any means necessary
Oh,
to
no.
achieve his goals.
A chaos cleric guarding the gateway to the realm of death.
It's as bad as it sounds.
That sounds terrifying.
It is.
What more do we know about him?
The source material describes him as cunning and resourceful.
Cunning, huh?
He even has a drolum,
A Drollum.
disguised as Korbundar,
Wait, what?
a psychological weapon,
Oh.
designed to demoralize any challengers who think they've already defeated the dragon.
Whoa. Talk about a mind game?
Right?
Imagine the dread of thinking you've overcome this massive dragon,
I know.
only to have this even more powerful creature rise from the earth to face you.
Yeah,
That's hardcore.
it is,
And it speaks to Ulslime's strategic thinking.
for sure.
He's not just a mindless force of destruction.
Yeah.
He's a master manipulator,
Exactly.
playing on his opponent's fears and expectations.
So he's not just powerful.
Right.
He's smart, too.
Not a good combination.
Definitely not.
But I have to ask,
Go ahead.
if he's the true mastermind,
Yeah.
what about Wazor?
Good question.
Where does he fit into all this?
That's a question we'll have to keep in mind
Okay.
as we explore the Temple of the Stars.
Right.
It's possible that Wazor is working for Ulsheim,
You think so?
a pawn in a much larger game,
Makes sense.
or perhaps they're rivals,
Woo.
each with their own agenda.
I love a good mystery. So we've got this Chaosar,
Ulsheim.
right, Ulsheim?
Yep.
Waiting at the Temple of the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
A gateway to the realm of death.
That's right.
And a whole bunch of unanswered questions.
Death too.
This is getting intense.
It is.
So, listener, we're back and things are getting really real.
No kidding.
We got a silent dominion, a strategic dragon,
Uh-huh.
a mysterious mage,
Right.
a desperate village clinging to survival,
It's a lot.
and now a hidden temple acting as a gateway to the realm of death.
A gateway to the realm of death.
It's like all the best parts of a fantasy epic rolled into one.
And as we prepare to face Ulsheim.
At the Temple of the Stars,
Right.
there are still so many questions hanging in the air.
Like what?
Is he truly the mastermind behind all this?
Right.
Or is there someone else pulling the strings?
It's possible.
And what about the Deathstone itself?
Oh, yeah, the deathstone.
What happens to that once we reach the temple?
Good question.
We're focused on stopping the deathcloud and closing the gateway. But the Deathstone is still out there.
Broken but not destroyed.
Right.
What if someone decides to use it?
Instead of destroying it,
Yeah.
the source material hints at that possibility,
It does.
describing the Deathstone as a conduit to unimaginable power.
Not just a source of destruction.
Right.
Imagine the implications.
Okay, I'm listening.
Someone could intentionally create chaos, a distraction, as a way to gain control of the Deathstone.
Okay, now things are getting really interesting.
Right.
Suddenly, everyone becomes a suspect.
Like who?
Was Baron Maltesfaro really possessed?
Hmm.
Or did he somehow orchestrate his own downfall to gain access to the Deathstone's power?
And what about Wazor?
Yeah, what about Wazor?
Is he just a power-hungry mage?
Could be.
Or is he working for someone even more sinister?
Someone
who wants to exploit the Deathstone for their own agenda.
It's possible.
He did flee towards Gollum,
Right.
perhaps hoping to get to the temple first.
And let's not forget, the survivors in Gollum.
Oh, yeah. The survivors.
They're facing impossible odds, fighting for their very lives.
It's true.
What would they do if they knew about the Deathstone's true potential?
I don't know.
Would they be tempted to use its power to rebuild,
Maybe.
even if it meant risking further corruption?
It's a classic moral dilemma.
What do you mean?
Do you sacrifice your principles,
Yeah,
your very soul,
right.
for the sake of survival?
That's deep.
It's a question that resonates throughout history,
I agree.
and one we still grapple with today.
For sure.
Where do we draw the line?
Right.
What are we willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
And at what cost?
Heavy stuff.
I know, right?
It really makes you think about the choices people make
Right.
when faced with extreme circumstances.
Absolutely.
But before we get too philosophical,
Okay.
let's talk about the temple itself.
All right. Cool.
Marble pillars, ancient thrones,
Sounds fancy.
and this ominous black curtain
A black curtain.
concealing the gateway.
Oh, wow.
It sounds like a place where the line between life and death is blurred.
And guarding that line are the Drudge.
The Drudge.
These terrifying creatures are unlike anything we've encountered so far.
Oh, great.
They defy conventional understanding.
Yeah.
Their very presence corrupting the fabric of reality.
Okay, I am officially creeped out.
Yeah, they're pretty freaky.
So we've got these reality-bending nightmares guarding the gateway,
Uh-huh.
a powerful Chaosar waiting for us inside,
Right.
and a Deathstone with the potential to corrupt even the most well-intentioned.
That's a lot to deal with.
What are our chances of success here?
That's the beauty of it, isn't it?
What do you mean?
We don't know.
Oh.
The source material leaves us with a cliffhanger,
A cliffhanger.
a sense of anticipation and uncertainty.
Okay.
We've uncovered the truth about the Deathcloud,
Right.
but the story is far from over.
So even if we manage to close the gateway,
Mm-hmm.
the Deathstone remains a wild card.
I'm your wild card.
Its power is still out there, waiting to be harnessed.
For good or for evil,
Right.
it's a reminder that victory is rarely absolute.
That's a good point.
There's always an aftermath,
Yeah.
a ripple effect that extends beyond the immediate conflict.
And that brings us to our final thought for this deep dive.
Okay.
We've explored the dangers of the Deathstone.
The chaos it can unleash.
Right.
But what about the other side of that coin?
Oh, interesting.
What if someone used its power for good? Could it be harnessed for healing?
Maybe.
For restoring what's been lost?
That's possible.
Or would it inevitably corrupt?
Twisting even the purest intentions.
It's a question worth pondering.
Wow, that's a perfect note to end on.
Glad you think so.
We've gone from a simple investigation to a full-blown existential crisis.
It's been quite a journey.
But that's what the deep dive is all about, right?
Exactly.
Exploring the complexities,
Right.
the what-ifs,
Yeah.
the questions that linger long after the adventure is over. Until next time.
See you then.